some very interesting names are trending up right now, and you may wonder if they're actually good or if you should trade them, if you should sell high, or maybe you can give him a long time shot. So let's discuss about these very interesting and hot names in the market right now. What's up guys, it's me again, Leo, or Leo, the Brazilian fantasy guy. You already know, and thank you so much if you're subbed to my channel. I'm very close to the 300 sub mark. So if you're not subbed, please make sure you are. So let's go to the chase and go to the video. Let's discuss about 10 very interesting names, whether you should hold them or sell high. The first name in the list, this man has been balling recently, Ware from the Miami Heat. Let me put it here. Ware from the Miami Heat. He's been very good recently, exploding whether it's sleeper locking formats, Yahoo high score, ESPN points leagues, 9 gets, doesn't matter. He's finally living up to the expectations. So the question is, you should sell high on him or you should hold, and he's actually good. And my answer to this is he is actually good, but he will be somebody that will need more minutes to give you fantasy production. Right now, he's trending in the right direction. Miami finally have seen to find out how to use him and them together. Hero should not impact his value, but I think his analysis depends on your format. If you play sleeper locking format, it's the best format for Ware, because even if in a game or another he plays less minutes, but one game per week he plays 30 minutes, give you 35 plus fantasy points, is amazing. So I'll tell you, if you play sleeper locking format, you should hold him and you should not go and sell high him for anything. If you receive a very good offer, you could consider, but you should not go and be desperate for trading. But if you play different formats and you're receiving a very good offer and you don't want the risk of having him performing very well every single night, which I think it will not happen. I think he will trend up, then he will trend down. If you want to get rid of this risk, so you should sell high and get somebody good, a top 50, a top 40 player maybe, taking advantage of the time he is right now. His performances right now will give you the leverage of the negotiation, and you can try to get a more solid player. Best case scenario, he keeps playing 30 plus minutes even with Avdija and Hero, and keeps being amazing at fantasy, which will be a very big win. In the worst case scenario, Miami finds out he cannot play with Avdija and he plays only 20 minutes per night tops, and he will come close to having the value of a waiver wire player. Which scenario I think is more probable? Between those two, the best case scenario. Jumping in here to tell you to please subscribe. We are on the road to get 300 subs. It's not much. You're not subbed and I know it. Sub and help your man out. Second play in their list, Sarr. You already know I draft him everywhere I can, and I will keep saying he is actually good. Do not go and be desperate about selling him high. Oh, he just came back from an injury, I'm gonna wait for him to explode and then trade him. You should not be thinking this if you are an Sarr owner. He's actually good. I really think he will be productive to the end of the season. Even with the Wizards tanking, it doesn't matter. They need to develop him. So I really think you should not worry about him right now. Of course, a lot of things can happen, but I'm confident Sarr will be good. He will give you value no matter what format you're playing in right now. The worst case scenario, the Washington Wizards tanks or limits him, which I really don't see happening. But the best case scenario, he plays 30 plus minutes till the end of the season, and he is gonna be stellar into the end of the season because he has the green light. He's their best asset right now, arguably, with Kyshawn George. So you should hold and do not be desperate about Sarr. He is actually good. Third name on the list from the Charlotte Hornets, Miles Bridges. Miles Bridges is very interesting because he's normally one player with LaMelo and another player without LaMelo. Without LaMelo, of course, his usage go very high, go to the ceiling. but he is actually good. He's a very undervalued player on fantasy ranks, on fantasy lists, on pre-draft ranks. I don't know why he was ranked so low, but I think he is a very good player. Even with LaMelo, if you're playing sleeper locking format, you know he will give you strong locks, he will give you 30 plus locks. Without LaMelo, he's a beast. He already had like some top 20 runs in his recent career, last season and the season before the last one. And even this one, he had an amazing sequence of games. So he is actually good. But if you receive an offer trading him for a very solid player, I think you should consider, of course. Because there's the worst case scenario, which is very difficult to happen, very hard to happen, which would be LaMelo playing every single game to the end of the season. We already know this is not gonna happen. This is not gonna happen, unfortunately. Miles Bridges has already proven that even when the Horn tanks every single season, he plays until the end. He plays a lot of games. He's very healthy. He plays a lot of minutes. So there's the value. He will give you fantasy production. That's why I'll keep telling you he is actually good, and you should not go desperate trading him right now. I told you about Sarr, and now I'm gonna remind you about my man Kyshawn George. He went back to a hot streak. He made 2 very good games. He killed in the game against Atlanta, and he is actually good. How many times I'm gonna be repeating this for you? I'm not gonna be talking a lot about him again, but just to remind you, he is actually good. I receive a lot of questions. Hey Leo, what do you think about Kyshawn right now? Should I panic? Should I trade him? No, relax. He is good. He is actually good. And the same analysis that I made for Sarr is the same for Kyshawn. He's one of the best assets they have. They have to develop him. The best case scenario is that they decide to suddenly rest Middleton, rest CJ McCollum, and he will need to do more. He'll need to play more. I don't see a world that the Wizards decide to interrupt his development. It makes no sense. The Wizards are dumb, we already know, but they're not that dumb. They're building something. They have something there. So Kyshawn is actually good, and you should not be worried to trade him for anything. Relax. What about my man that I mentioned on my last video, Derek Queen? I worried that if Missy played 30 minutes on the last game and he will take his spot, and I'll tell you my opinion. I do not think so. I think Derek Queen is a way better player, way more an NBA caliber player than Yves Missy. He's all-around player. He gives you assists, he gives you rebounds, he gives you points. He has his bag. Derek Queen is solid. But if you receive an offer for him and somebody's offering you a very solid player because he's on a hype train, and he says, okay, I can give you my Derek Queen if you give me a very solid player. The best case scenario, he will play 30 plus minutes every single night to the end of the season, and there's no reason why the Pelicans are not interested in developing. He already played 30 minutes against alongside Zion, and he played very well. He gave Zion a lot of assists. So he is balling even with Zion, which was a concern. Worst case scenario, he somehow loses the position for Yves Missy, and he ends up playing 20 minutes per night, 25 minutes, which I don't see happening. I think between the two worlds, I think the best case scenario is way more likely to happen. That being said, I do not think you should panic and go try to sell him high right now, but it doesn't mean you should not accept a very solid player if somebody's on the Derek Queen hype train and he's wanting to give you a solid player, just like, I don't know, a Jalen Duren, a Derek White, somebody like this. You should accept this. I'm not telling you to not do this. Of course, you should always think about the concept behind. I'm just telling you, do not go rushing and accepting anything for him. Sixth name on the list, my man Keyonte George. I drafted him on the last 2 drafts. This time I couldn't, and I slept on him because he is balling And Keyonte is, I'm a fan. He's very good. And finally, Utah is giving him the starters minutes he deserves. Of course, there's a problem. He plays in Utah. And it's weird how things go from the mid of the season to the end of the season. That's why I think you should sell him high right now, because we never know what can happen in Utah. I think he's a player who is actually good. He is actually good. But you should try to sell him high. Because as I said, he's playing Utah. And as he is playing Utah, my next player also is, and I also think you should sell him high, Lauri Markkanen. He's playing very good right now. Way higher than expectations pre-draft. But it's the same thing. He's playing Utah. You never know. They can bench him tomorrow and come up with fake injuries and play Mikhailuk and Sensabaugh plus minutes. We'll never know. That's why I think you should consider targeting somebody for Markkanen. If you want ideas, real life trade targets, real life trade packages, you should consider seeing my last video where I talked about Markkanen and his trade packages. Now I'm gonna talk about two of my favorite players for this season. And if you watched my videos, even my first ones where I talked about my draft, my official draft, I mentioned them a lot. Firstly, Jalen Johnson. For me, he was one of the biggest steals of the draft. He was going very, very low on draft. He was going even in the late third and beginning of the fourth. I was like, what are you guys doing? Jalen Johnson was one of my targets in my main league, and I was able to target him and trade him. I sent KD for him, and I'm really high on Jalen Johnson. I think he's actually good. But you can say, okay, but Trae Young will be back. He's been good right now because Trae's out. His assists are crazy, but it will not continue to be like this when Trae is back. I partially agree. I do not think his assist numbers will be that high, will be this high, but he is actually good. He will keep producing. He will keep being great. I think we haven't seen the best form on Jalen Johnson. I think he's developing to be the best version of himself, and he is taking the leap right now in front of us. He's very good. Of course, worst case scenario, he gets injured, and we please God, don't let him get injured, because as I said, I traded for him, and he's been balling my team. Best case scenario, he gives you 70 plus games in an elite level, and you want to be alive when this happens. And let's hope we can see this season. So he is actually great. Do not go and try to sell high for a worse player where you think, oh, he's healthier. Have a little faith with me. We are on this together. And another player that I'm really high on, and I've already mentioned him a couple times in this channel, Avdija. I love him for this season, and he is actually great. Do not overthink. Do not go and try to sell high for some, I don't know, top 50 player. I think he has real chances to finish on a top 25, even inside the top 20 in points leagues. And if we're talking about sleeper locking format, he can easily finish on the top 20 locking mark, which will be considering only the strongest locks per week. So the worst case scenario is somehow Portland loses one or two players. They decide to tank and starting coming up with fake injuries, but I do not think this is gonna happen. I think Portland is solid. I think they will compete, and let's hope they stay healthy and can compete throughout the season. And Avdija will be playing good and delivering good numbers to the end of the season. Let's hope, and I really believe this will happen. Last name on the list, and one of my lights just died, Jalen Duren. Jalen Duren is another one that I was waiting for his breakout, and I drafted him last season, and I got very frustrated. But right now, he is actually good. He's playing starting minutes. He's playing 30 minutes plus. But of course, the worst case scenario is that they share his minutes with Isaiah Stewart and the other guys, and he ends up playing like 28 tops minutes per night. But the best case scenario is that they keep exploring him, keep exploring his dominance in the paint, which he is amazing. And he will keep giving you amazing locks and amazing strong production throughout the whole season. I think his injury risks are gone right now, let's hope. And he's actually good. You should not go and try to sell high for anything. Of course, let me remind you, I'm not saying that any of those guys that I mentioned that are actually good, you should not consider like you should consider them untradeable. No, but you should not rush and trade them. You get what I mean, right? You should not rush, but of course, always be considering to trade your players if the offer is good. Those were the 10 names for today, guys, and I wanted to thank you again for being with me. Make sure you hit the like button. Let me hear your feedback on the comments. What do you want to see next? Which type of video do you prefer? Let me know, because I'm gonna be replying to every single one of them. Make sure you follow me on Twitter as well, @FantasyOnPoint, and see you on my next video. Bye bye.